Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Play Fallen Enchantress Legendary Heroes. Before you ask, this is a game like the new Age of Wonders Planetfall, only a little bit older but still gold. It's a turn-based RPG strategy game where you can customize your units, your towns and your heroes to your liking. With that being said, there are a lot of playthroughs for Fallen Enchantress Legendary Heroes, but I think they all miss one thing, and that is the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut is a special unit that you can build if you pick the right race, and it's a little bit like the Golem that another race can build, but the Golem is the defensive variant and the Juggernaut is the offensive variant of that unit. With that being said, what does that mean? Well, normally in the game you start building your units and you start upgrading them, and you give them horses, you give them swords, you give them magic enchantments, you give them magic items, you give them weapons, whatever you like, and you start feeling that your units get more and more and more and more expensive. And as you need the horses as a resource, and as you need the iron as a resource, and the crystals and whatever, then you will notice that you don't have the resources to build these units in the numbers you need them. Until the very late game, where you can buy them from other enemies that are still alive, and then it's pretty much done already, so there is no real resistance there. So the question is, how do we get a unit for a very, very hard game that is able to deal with almost all targets in the game to a reasonable price? And the answer to this is, in my eyes, the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut has one major feat. It has the maul ability. That means it hits, and when it hits, it strikes again. And if it hits then again, it strikes again, and so forth, until the enemy is either dead or he misses. To counter that missing, because every time you strike, the next strike is 15% less to hit, we're taking the lucky feat. I know I'm playing this in German. If you want to see it in the text in English as well, please tell me and I will arrange that. But the main point here is we take lucky to deal with that minus in hitting. Now there is a big argument against the Juggernaut with the axe, but take the hammer, because if you hit an enemy with the hammer, there is a chance, depending on the damage you do, that you knock the enemy thrown, and when the enemy is thrown, he's automatically hit, which means he's automatically dead, because the Juggernaut will keep hitting him until he's dead, because he cannot miss, because he's thrown on the ground. However, there are a lot of targets who cannot be knocked thrown, so that's the reason I take the axe. Before anyone asks, why do I take the enchanter? It's not for the staffs, because these guys cannot use staffs. It's for the building, because you get the building of +1 essence. What is essence, you ask? Well, you can build cities, and if you're lucky, the cities, or well, if you're planning enough, your cities will be on essence pools. And they can be from 1 to 3. And for every point of essence the city has, it can have 1 permanent enchantment on it that you can cast on it. And most of these enchantments get more powerful the more essence the city has. So for example, there is an enchantment that gives you +2 Gildar, which is gold basically, per essence that the city has. So if you cast it on a city that has 1 essence, you get 2 Gildar. If you cast it on a city that has 3 essence, you get 6 Gildar. And trust me, 6 Gildar, that's a lot of coin. With that being said, the Juggernaut itself is relatively easy to research. It is a single troop or single man unit. I don't refer to gender in this case, but to the number of persons in the unit, which means that the monsters that do extra damage the larger the enemy unit is in numbers have no effect on the Juggernaut, which is very good, because a lot of the big and crazy monsters do bonus damage to large units. Not large meaning big, large numbers, I mean, because your normal troop can consist of 1 to 5 members. And so if it has 5 members, yet it does more damage. Yes, it has more hit points, but it also gets badly mauled by those units who do extra damage against large or numerous units. You don't have the problem with the Juggernaut. They have a lot of hit points. They're very, very useful in every. They are fast, well, fast enough though, and To enchant that fastness a little bit, we'll take the Master Scout, because we get no penalties for moving through any kind of terrain, which is absolutely beautiful. The only downside we take for our race is no ranged weapons, which there's no problems because the Juggernauts cannot use any ranged weapons anyway. We'll take the axes, of course, because we want the axe bonus with the backswing, which means another chance to hit, and we can do Splatter, which hits 3 targets that are ejected. As a personal feat, we take Genius because of the spell control, which helps us overcome enemy spell defense, and that is important because we're a Beast Lord. Now, there are different types of lords. For example, there is the Silver Tongue, which enables you to take over trained units, means units that have been built out of intelligence beings. But not bandits, that's another group. There is an extra ability to take over a bandit, which is in my eyes totally useless because yes, there are a lot of bandits in the beginning, but yes, they're all useless, or most of them. The Beast Lord can take over beasts, and the good thing about that is, while taking over trained units, they might be more effective in the mid-game. But in the beginning, you will not encounter a lot of trained units, and it costs you 100 Gildar to take one over. However, the Beast Lord only costs mana, and mana is far easier to obtain for one. And second, the beast has no upkeep, which every unit of troops that you get per Silver Tongue will cost you upkeep. The beasts not. The beasts are free. You pay once 40 mana to take them over, and they can be extremely powerful. We are talking bears with maul ability, we're talking spiders with spider web, we're talking about a lot of very, very useful units, especially in the beginning. Our only downside is we are not resistant to magic, but a few would ever cast on you. And we take 3 spell schools, water, air, and earth, for the benefits, for the city enhancements. That's the main reason. These 2 are not really what we need. Well, with that being said, if there are any questions to the game itself, to my playstyle, to the Juggernaut, to this construction, why I take what, please state them in the comments. And please, if you like this series, tell me so, because I have limited resources and I want to make a low magic age playthrough. I want to make the Mountain Blade playthrough. I want to make the Underrail playthrough, so I have very limited time, and I try to make it fair for everyone. So, of course, we're playing in the highest difficulty with the maximum number of enemies and everything as hard as possible, and, well, let's go for it. And here we go. Look at ourselves. Our starting position is, let's have a quick look. Okay, because we've got food bonus, we've got an air shard, we have got ruins to create more research, we have an earth shard, which both of those will give us bonus mana and our spells will become stronger. We've got metal here, that's good. We have a spider close by that we can take, that is good. We have some treasures that we can collect, more iron this way, more treasures, and most importantly of all, we have essence close by. As you can see, not all of the tiles that we can settle on at the moment, the first city you can settle without a pioneer, have essence, but this one here has 3 essence. So if we settle here, which we absolutely should, our city will have 3 essence slots. Ta-da! Now, isn't that beautiful? With that being said, we can cast our first spell that costs no mana, and that will be this one here. That means we automatically get 3 additional mana. Normally you only get 1 per turn. Now we get 4. Now, isn't that great? I think it is. We have to pay our units. Maybe we should get rid of them, but before we get rid of them, we fight those guys here, because they are dangerous. Now you say, Boris, that guy doesn't look very dangerous. 14 damage, 24 hit points, no defenses. Meh. Well, what you don't recognize about this guy is that they've got this immortal curse, which means whenever they kill someone, they become bigger and stronger. More of them will appear, to a maximum of 6. That makes them extremely powerful in my eyes. And of course, they have a super spider. Look at that, 92 hit points. Can do webs. Gets extra hit points per level. and is poisonous as hell, is fast as hell, can move around. All pretty beautiful. We can go to the shop. Every city has a shop. At the moment we cannot buy a lot because we have not researched anything. That brings us to research. We of course go for one thing directly, and that is the Juggernaut. Yes, it says 531 turns, but that is because we have only got one research point at the moment. We'll soon have two, then that halves, then we have one more, and that will... yeah, well, you get the point. We will be there absolutely quickly. And look at that thing. And when it starts, it has hit points of 82. Isn't that beautiful? Compare that to the unit before that, it has 8 hit points. Yes, you can have 3 of them. Well, good luck, that's 24. Screw those guys. We're getting for the Juggernauts. And we will automatically research to that point. With that being said, our city needs orders, and our city will get orders. The first thing you normally build is the Tower of Control, because your city will grow faster and you will get a bonus renown, which will attract heroes. Which is okay, but I personally normally go for the special building first, because that gives us one more essence, which will result in one more spell that we can cast on the city, and I think that is very, very useful. So with that being said, I think that's it for today. I hope you like it, and next time we'll take ourselves the spider. See you all then. Bye.